Welcome to another episode of Bears News Network. I'm your host, Mike Anderson, where we talk Chicago Bears sports, man, like Chicagoans do, man. Chicago Bears win versus the Los Angeles Rams 24 to 18. But before we get into that, like we said, subscribe to the channel for a chance to win free tickets and prizes. Join the Bears News Network family. Thank you guys. And all the contact information is right underneath this video. You can see it going across your screen. So we're going to get into all that. And Caleb Williams' exciting performance. And also the defense shines once again and getting into a couple of players who stood out on the defensive side of the ball. So we're going to get into all that right here on Bears News Network. Welcome back to another episode of Bears News Network. I'm your host, Mike Anderson. Where we talk Chicago Bears news. The Chicago Bears gets the victory over the Los Angeles Rams 24 to 18. The Bears improved their record to 2-2 on the season, moving them to an even 500, still even with those Green Bay Packers. So happy that they lost. I'm happy. Glad Minnesota did their thing against them Packers. We know how much we can't stand the Packers. So let's get a FGB up in the chat right underneath this video, man. But let's get him back into this game, man. Caleb Williams' performance. Just a quick gem that I found from Caleb Williams in this game. He had a 106.6 QBR rating versus the Rams in this game. And then he had a 124.5 passer rating when under pressure in this game against the Rams. And just looked at like a totally different quarterback than he looked at over the past 3 weeks. Looked a lot more comfortable, looked a lot more like he was reading his reads, and looked just overall as better as a passer, staying in the pocket, not moving out the pocket so early. So you can most definitely see the development and growth with Caleb Williams. When you look at his numbers, he was 17 out of the 23 attempts, 157 yards, one touchdown. Didn't have to throw the ball as much, but still was very effective. Now you can see versus him in the blitz the first 3 weeks, he had a 40% passes completed. And then versus the blitz alone versus the Rams week 4, he was 8 out of 9 attempts, 75 yards, one touchdown. So we can see that Caleb Williams is growing, no doubt about it. Might be not be at the pace that we all wanted to, but not at the pace that even Jane Daniels is going. But we don't know yet. It's like I said, it's still too early, but we can see the rookie growing. And another gem that we want to reach out is in the first 2 games, he was 37 out of 65 attempts with 56 percentage completion with 267 yards, no touchdowns, and 2 interceptions with a 53 passer rating. But we can see the last 2 games how Caleb Williams have shown that improvement. He's been 50 out of 75 attempts, 67 completions, 520 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and then also having that 93.7 passer rating. So we can see how he's most definitely been showing improvement, and how not only that Shane Waldron called most definitely a better game than he has called in the past few weeks. And I like that everybody took accountability and looked at themselves in the mirror. Even my boy DeAndre Swift, man. And hey, I called out DeAndre Swift, but DeAndre Swift out of 7 receptions, 165 total yards, one TD, did he silence the critics because he was averaging 1.8 yards a carry for the whole season. And then he just had this breakout game. Another interesting gem with DeAndre Swift's breakout game that I wanted to talk about, how he was the first player who had 70 plus rushing yards and 70 plus receiving yards in a game by any player since Jeremy Langford, November 15th, 2015. You guys remember him? So most definitely DeAndre Swift had most definitely an incredible game. I'm glad that he was able to look at himself in the mirror and understand he had to get some things together, and most definitely did that. When you look at his numbers in his game, he had 16 carries for 93 rushing yards. Like I said, those 7 receptions for 73 yards and that one touchdown. He was catching out of the backfield. He was running hard, and you can see that him and Roshan Johnson might be that 1-2 punch combination that we need in the backfield, which has been shown to be effective just in this game along with the Rams. And does that leave Khalil Herbert the odd man out? We will not know. That's another topic of discussion. But let's get into the defense and how they continue to look and improve, man, on this team. And the defense coming into this game, just in the 3 games that they had this year, they was holding opponents to 25% third down conversions. Now the league average is 40% that most teams would give up on third down conversions, but the Chicago Bears has been making a statement and not letting teams convert in third downs. Now, granted, we still need some work in the red zone situations, and I talked about that in my last episode, but we most definitely have been making progress, and you can't argue with the defense. They're the reason why we've been in some of the games. They're the reason why we able to win some of the games, just along with they takeaways as well. So big shout out to the defense and big shout out to my boy Jaquan Brisker, man. He shined versus this Rams team. Showed he can do his thing, man. We already knew big things from Jaquan Brisker, but just his ability and what he did in this game alone, when you look at his numbers, he had 12 tackles, he had 4 assists, he had 1 sack, and then not only that, man, he was everywhere on the field, hitting guys, running over people, man. Big shout out to Jaquan Brisker for having that breakout game. Now, one guy, man, that stood out to me too on that defensive line, and he was my breakout candidate that we I picked to be one of my breakout candidates. It's that boy Big Javon Dexter. Just his ability and what he's been able to do has been incredible. And when you look at him and what he's been able to do with his numbers just through 4 games, 12 total tackles, 7 solo tackles, 5 assists, 3 sacks. If he continues on this pace, he's projected to have 12 and a half sacks just along in 2024. So big shout out to Big Dex, man, doing most definitely doing his thing. Big shout out to him. I want to, man, most definitely knew he could be a breakout candidate, and happy for Big Dex. Now the question is of today is, will Big Dex reach his goal that he wanted to reach in this game? And look, when you, like I said, his numbers is on the screen, but when you look at his goal, Javon Dexter goal was he wanted to have 10 plus sacks, 10 plus tackles for loss, 10 plus pressures, and wanted to be a Pro Bowler or an All Pro. So, will Javon Dexter reach his goal of those things? That's yet to be seen, but I want to hear from you guys. Like I said, will he reach his goal? We want to hear from you guys and let us know, will he reach it? Now, put your comments right underneath there, right underneath the video. Will Javon Dexter reach his goals? Today's comment question. Let us know how you guys feel. Okay. Tory Taylor, man, you can't even get enough of this dude. He's always everywhere, always showing up. Uh Tory Taylor averaged 55.4 yards on 5 punts, the third highest since the 1960s. 3 punts inside the 10 versus the Rams. And his ability, since we've been struggling on this offense early and look like we might have been able to turn the corner, but Tory Taylor's ability to flip the field for the defense has been something that's been nice to see and something that's been instrumental, no doubt about it, to this team. Like he's a defensive player, standout player in itself, with being able to flip the field the way that he did, man. And he had a couple of 63 yarder punt, a 66 yarder punt with that powerful leg, man. So big shout out to Tory Taylor doing his thing on the punting end, man, for special teams and flipping the field and making it hard for opponents' offense to score without good defense down there, pinning those guys back. Now, like we said, subscribe, like, comment, Hit those buttons, man. We want to hear from you guys, and also subscribe to the channel for a chance to win a pair of tickets along with prizes. We appreciate all the love and support, man. And like me and Cootie always say, bear down and be safe, Chicago. We appreciate the love.